good evening, wonderful people. It has been a minute. Yeah, it's been quite some time that we haven't been together, and I have been missing you. I've been getting inboxes, texts. Coach Khanyi, when are you coming back on MindVest Connections? Guys, I'm so happy to be here. I am so grateful. I thank God that I've been in my cocoon, and then now it's time to flourish for all of us. This is the season of change. This is a season of abundance. This is a season of growth. So yes, we are back here on MindVest Connections on Zanti Urban Radio. It's Women's Month. It's Women's Month, a time of celebration, a time to introspect, a time of growth, a time to celebrate women. And tonight, you know us here at MindVest Connection, that we always have the connections to be with, We are having a very, very lovely guest here tonight. And yes, we are so much honored to have her here. Her name is Uphumzile Ndlovu. She's a registered counselor, NLP life coach, a businesswoman, a farmer. She's been featured in the top magazines like Drum, True Love. She's a superwoman. Like, I am so inspired by her. I know that you definitely all will be inspired. And I would like to welcome you, Phumzile. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Good evening to everybody. Good evening, Coach Khanyi, your listeners, your viewers, everybody at home watching us from all over the world and different parts of the world. And happy Women's Month to all the women out there.
Thank you, Phumzile, for joining us tonight. It's, this is long overdue. We need inspirational women like you yourselves more to be on shows like these. And I know you are out there on a lot of places. Can you please just briefly tell us about yourself? Yes, just tell us, who is Uphumzile?
Wow! That's always it's always a tricky question. That tell us about yourself, because it's one of those questions where you sort of go blank, like, who am I? But I would like to define myself as living a life of no limits, and that's basically shown in terms of all the things that I'm interested in. Like you mentioned earlier on, I'm a businesswoman, I'm a farmer, I'm a registered counselor, I'm a life coach, and I choose not to box myself in terms of defining who I am. I'm versatile in terms of me being me. I'm a woman with many passions, and all the things that I go into, I am passionate about. So I think I'm blessed in that regard, that I was able to find so many things that I'm passionate about. But I could just say I'm a multi-dimensional.
Multi-talented, yeah. You're a superwoman. I just I just said that and just own that. Yes.
Wow.
Tonight, our topic is the new age of the whole woman. When we talk about a whole woman, you hardly ever hear that, because it's like women, we're always waiting for somebody to fill me, my better half. You make me full, you make me complete. But now, when we're talking about the whole woman, what is a whole woman?
So basically, someone who would describe themselves as a whole woman would be someone who is content with being themselves, and someone who is happy being on their own, and they don't need the next person to complete them. And I think that speaks to the definition of self-love. This whole woman is an embodiment of self-love.
Self-love. Mm.
That's what I would like to give the definition of a whole woman.
Oh, self-love. You know, when you talk about self-love, that's for many of us in the past, including myself. You know, when you hear about self-love, you think, ooh, it sounds like selfish in a way. It sounds like
Yes.
self-love.
Especially being a woman.
So what is is self-love being selfish?
Self-love is selfish in the sense that you are putting yourself first, and I think so many of us struggle to put ourselves first because society already has given this definition that a woman needs to be selfless. A woman needs to be selfless in terms of the choices that they make, in terms of the career that they make, and you find women putting themselves back to define themselves as the selfless woman. And self-love is selfish in some form of way, but it's not a negative selfishness. It is a positive selfishness, because at some point you need to put yourself first.
Yes. Yes, I love that. I was doing a live video for Women's Day, and part of the things that I was sharing about is definitely self-love, and self-love being so necessary, because, if you don't, you are the ultimate definition of how people treat you. The way you love yourself is the only capacity you are able to love others. So when you say self-love, it's like I would put it into a definition like, when you're on an airplane, when the assistants, they come and they do the demonstration about the oxygen, putting the oxygen mask first on your face before you start helping your spouse or your child or whoever's sitting next to you. Because if you start with you are able to help the next person. But if you start with the next person, you might both die while you are still trying to help your child, and you are suffocating and you don't have oxygen. But by starting with your mask first, you are able then to assist the next person. So yeah, self-love, I agree with you, is selfish, and it's a necessary selfish that women, we have been defined for too long that we should be selfless. You should be the nurturer. You should be giving. You are, you're just pouring out. Then when pouring out, when do you get a chance to fill yourself up?
Wow. And I think I definitely love the example that you gave in terms of, putting the oxygen mask first on yourself before, putting it onto someone else. And I think that's definitely what happens to most of us. We are so concerned with giving the next person the mask. We're trying to save and help the next person, but we forget to save ourselves. And the only way you can serve and be of purpose is to start with yourself first. Because how can you serve others when you can't even serve yourself?
Like pouring. If you have, like, my water is like there at the bottom. I wanted to fill it before the interview, but it's like almost there. It's not even half full. So how can I be able to take this water and pour it into my kids' whatever cups and fill their cups with a half, like it's not even half, it's like at the bottom. Then we always wanting to share of what we don't have. So putting yourself first is something which,
so instead of putting
Pumzi, I lost you there for a moment. What did you say?
Oh, okay. I think it froze a bit. I was saying that, what's with the cup, with the cup that you are holding, it's just a matter of you are constantly pouring out, but nothing is coming back in. You are not going to the tap to fill in and put water back in, or you're constantly pouring out, but you're not putting back in.
Yes. So I would like to know, according to your understanding and your feeling, is there a place for in our society for the modern whole woman? Is there a place for?
So you just asking, there is a place, Coach Khanyi? Oh, yes. Okay. So that place, given the society that we're living in at the moment, I think it's still not as common for a whole woman to exist. So we need to create that space where a woman can define themselves as whole without having this thing that society or social media puts on them, and that says, for you to be happy and for you to be complete and for you to be whole, you need to be like this or you need like that. So I think we need to start the process where we are able to say, okay, listen, let's create an environment where we can have a whole woman in society.
Amen. You know how I'm glad you touched there on how social media has played such a role in defining on for women, especially how you should look like, how you should dress like, how you should be dancing, how you should be living. And it's so much blown up. I believe with the experience that I have, that most of the people who are living, like the influencers and whatnot, that we see there on the socials, when coming into, identifying that what are their struggles, and also what are their gains by living that life. Sometimes, most of the time, you find that it's not even for themselves. It's just for the public. It's just to show off that, I'm living the life. And having the privilege of being able to coach influential people and, influences of our age, that it gets too much. It does get too much. And social media plays a very, very critical role in how the society is viewing the woman. When I think about this, how then does the history, what we have gone through in the past as women, our great grandmothers, our ancestors, how has their struggles, in your opinion, created the space where today we are searching within ourselves to be the whole woman? So how has our history basically played a role in women today deciding and wanting to become a whole woman?
I think with as time has gone by, there has been a search for more understanding and knowledge and questioning of what society has been saying all along. I think there's been that element of freedom where we are able to question the patriarchal system, or not even necessarily that, but where we are able to question, okay, my parents had this type of a relationship. I never really saw my mother happy. Does that really mean that is the only definition of happiness? And I think with time going on, people are able to explore different elements of life, so definitely we have evolved in terms of questioning what is really right and what is right for you.
Amen. I truly believe what you said, because I'm glad that you even going. It's like as though we discussed this before, and I hardly ever discuss any of the questions with my guests. when you talk about patriarchy, let's first start there, just to break down patriarchy in your definition of that.
So patriarchy, and I just failed there.
Patriarchy. Patriarchy. We're saying it how we want to say it. Patriarchy. Patriarchy.
It's basically a system where men were sort of looked at as, superior and in charge, and where women must be submissive, and they sort of like at the bottom to some extent, and they don't have as much freedom to choose. That's how I would define a patriarchal system. It's a man's world.
And I also love to add to that we've always thought that man is the man having the power over woman, that creates the patriarchal system. But I've chosen the school to be in the school of thinking that patriarchy is not necessarily men who have power over women, because I believe when I always say this when I talk, is that with great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
And I believe the opposite also to be true, that when taking responsibility comes great power. So when we take responsibility as women, as mothers, as sisters, then we are able to have that power. So when it comes to patriarchy,
that word.
When it comes to that, I love to say that, we are the mothers, or we have been raised by mothers. Most of the families, even when the parents, they divorce, my parents divorced, I went to stay with my grandmother at a point. I was staying with my aunts. It's always women raising the children, whether in the stable family or in, mostly the children who spend the time with the mothers. So for me to have to, I want to actually build up why I come to this definition, is that patriarchy is actually women who oppress other women and teach men how to oppress, or to become those egotistic and though not treating women right, in the sense that, taking a story from my childhood, there was a time when my grandmother would say, "Hey, amafa is not wamasiwa mantombazane." And I was young, bro. I was young. I was perhaps 5 or 6 years old. I don't even know what is amafa, inheritance. Like, in my mind, everyone's living forever. But because of the hurt that because of the hurt that she's been brought up with, same system, she now introduces to me a thing of amafa, inheritance, and I'm not good enough for that. I don't know what it is, but I know that I'm not good enough for that. So I went back to my dad and I told him, "Papa, Coco is saying this and this and this." And he was like, I can't even get a better description. The P word. Yeah, his steam was leaving his body, if I could actually describe it that way, how angry he was.
Wow.
So he calmed down, and then he explained to me and said, "You know what, this is what inheritance is, but I want to tell you something that is more important than that."
Wow.
Is that you can be anything that you want to be. I don't even want you to be thinking of those kinds of things. You are a complete child. You are powerful. You can be anything that you want to be, and you must never look at those things, because I can never do for you what you can do for yourself. So getting that, I was being taught patriarchy by a woman, but unlearning it and being boosted, it was done by my father, who is a man, who was supposed to say, yes, you're supposed to even get a husband who's going to take care of you. But he was pushing that, you know what, my child, you are the rich wife.
Wow,
You don't even look for a rich husband. You
wow.
are the rich wife.
You was
So
blessed to get that like a man like your father who was able to tell you that, listen, you can be everything you want to be. And it's sort of like he gave you that definition of being a whole woman where you don't.
we are parents.
Yeah. And I think what you were saying in terms of women sort of teaching the patriarchal system that has been passed down generation to generation to generation. And I think that women nowadays have come to the point where they are just, questioning that system, and actually saying, even though you want me to do this and be like this, I am going to be like this. Like what you were saying, where your father was saying, you know what, you can be anything that you want. Be the rich wife.
Yes, we work on that, girl. We're constantly working on that. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so yes, I started by saying, by taking great responsibility, it comes with great power. If we continue blaming the men, that they are the ones that are having the power. I'm raising boys right now. I'm raising 3 beautiful boys. Like bringing them down and making them believe that a woman is lower than the man because they are female. It's me still, the mother, teaching my children the wrong things, that how to treat a woman, and how my sons will learn how to treat a woman is how I allow my husband, my brothers, my whoever is around me to treat me, because we are the best definition to the world of how we should be treated. My little sisters, my younger cousins, they're the ones watching me. This is Khanyi, what is she doing?
Yes.
Why is she doing this? She can do it, I can do it, So yes, it's by taking responsibility as women to shine, to believe, to know our worth and our power. And it starts where you so brilliantly said that it starts with the self-love.
Self-love. And with self-love, you come with your boundaries and that respect, and you define that respect and you define those healthy boundaries. So definitely self-love.
Definitely. So how does one become a whole woman? Let's start there. Like let's just brainstorm this one. How does one we talk about this whole woman, but I love that when our viewers and the listeners will listen to this and know at the end of the day, like even if it's just small things that you can start to do, how does one become a whole woman?
How does one become a whole woman?
Yeah, just your definition.
Okay. So basically it's I would say it's starting with finding out who you are. Who are you? And actually tapping into the question of who are you? And with that question, you start to find out, what do I like? What hobbies interest me? What music do I like? So I would say with starting that process, it's basically finding out who you are. Explore different hobbies, explore different things that you like. Pick up that book and see if you like reading that book. Go for a run if you feel like, you know what, this is something that I'm interested in. Go cycling, go watch a movie alone. So it starts with asking, who am I? And finding ways to get to the question, finding answers finding answers that
answer those questions.
Of who am I?
Yes, I love that. What I'm getting from those questions is that you would start to develop a relationship with yourself. So I'm taking notes. I take notes, bruh. I'm a student. I'm a coach. I'm a student, so
As
I'm
they take
taking
notes, I'll
notes.
sip on the water here.
So what I'm getting is that it's starting by knowing who you are, what you like, just developing that relationship with yourself and knowing your boundaries. And what I was sharing the other day is that I gave three steps to help one to start that relationship with self, that important one, that self-love, and learning how to put yourself first. Number one is center yourself in stillness.
Wow.
Centering ourselves in stillness, for me, means that, there's most of the time everything is so busy around us, especially in this time, this season that we're in, with all the chaos, all the opportunities, I don't want to get deeper into the negative. Just to look at all the things that you can be grateful for while you are centering yourself in stillness. And you find that it becomes a difficult task to do for especially people who love to be productive. Those workaholics, let's be busy. You're busy at work, you're busy at raising kids, you're busy being a mom, being a wife, being a sister, being a student. We're always so busy, but centering yourself and taking a moment of stillness, and while you're in that stillness, having gratitude about what is good, what you can be grateful for. Number two, to self-care. Self-care. What would you say about self-care?
What would I say about self-care? So basically, self-care is basically doing something that makes you happy. So whether it's going to the salon, getting your hair done, getting your nails painted, taking a walk, getting a massage, going to a spa day, just looking after yourself and just doing something that makes you happy.
Yes, gal. Just take care of yourself. Buy
Thank
yourself
you.
flowers. Don't wait for somebody else to be buying you flowers. Buy yourself flowers. Those
Buy your-
chocolates.
I love that. Buy yourself chocolate, buy yourself flowers, buy yourself that, how we always wait for a man to buy us red roses? Go and buy yourself those red roses and, self love.
Yes, yes.
I
Putting
actually
like
have a ring of, like, it's a self love ring.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. So for you, when you bought that ring for yourself, what did you mean? What were you telling yourself with
So for
that
me,
gesture?
okay, so for me, it was just a simple reminder to constantly love myself. So whenever I would put it on, because obviously when I sleep, I'll take it off. But then in the morning, when I put it on, it's just a simple reminder that love yourself.
Mm, mm,
It's simple. It's not even anything too complicated. It's just, love yourself. And then sometimes, for me, especially when I take it off, I sort of go into the mode of what am I grateful for? So it's also self-love and gratitude. So
Gratitude.
gratitude as well. So when it comes on in the morning, it's a reminder of love yourself. And then when it comes off in the evening, it's a reminder of what are you grateful for? What
Wow.
happened today that you're grateful for?
Wow.
And that's a form of self-love where you are constantly, not only you are seeking externally, but also internally, like what are you grateful for?
What are you grateful?
What is making you happy? What happened during the day that made you happy? What are the positives that you can pick from the day?
Wow, gratitude is a way of life. You know, when I went through the exercise for like gratitude exercise, the one that is coming from Rhonda Byron, The Secrets.
Wow, law of
So,
attraction.
pardon?
I'm saying law of attraction.
Law of attraction, yes. So the more gratitude, what I learned from that is that the more gratitude you have, is the more that you will more things to be grateful for, which you are attracting to yourself. So every time when I'm feeling down, there's so much that is happening. I center myself and I sit down and even if I can just go inside my blankets, just cuddle up and just be grateful that I can even feel the blankets on my body, that I can open my eyes and see, that I can breathe. There are people in this time, it's so evident that the hospitals are full of people who are sick, but I am healthy. I'm in my house. I am grateful that I have a light. There's so much to be grateful for. Sometimes we think that gratitude is the big things like I bought a house, bought a car. Even the smallest thing that I'm able to walk, I'm able to land on my little mat and feel the soft cushion underneath my feet. There's people who don't have feet, who don't have eyes, who don't. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the warm shower. Gratitude, it brings so much warmth into your heart, warmth into your situation, because most of the time when we go into a station, we would start with the things that what are we grateful for, what is working, because we are so much focused on what is not working. Oh, the problem is this big, I'm this small. So I love the fact that you do that on a daily basis. Big ups. You are definitely
I love that you are also doing it on a daily basis. I think we take so many things for granted. We really do. And when you move your mindset from focusing on the positives and gratitude, you, even if you have a bad day, you will still find something positive out of it. And I think that's an amazing aspect to look at in terms of life.
So yes, it's definitely number one. We said is centering yourself in stillness, and that is when you get a chance to have gratitude, looking around you, or what it is that you can be grateful for. Everything, the smallest things that you think is small is not small. It's like a big thing because other people don't have it. Number two, self-care. Self-care, buy yourself flowers, do everything. Like pour yourself a warm, hot bath and just go in, have a cup of tea. Just do your own, dress yourself up first before you start dressing up the kids. When you go out of energy, the first thing that falls out of the wardrobe, you start wearing it. No, prepare your outfits, gal. Think about it, meditate upon it, put yourself first. And then the third one, which I want us to share, like setting boundaries. How does setting boundaries help one in the journey of self-love?
Okay. With setting boundaries, it helps you create respect for yourself, and it helps other people know how to treat you, and it also helps other people to respect you. And I think respect is it's the highest form of self-love. So creating that boundary is the best way to show yourself love.
Yeah, true. Setting boundaries, it creates respect, and self-respect is the highest form of love you can show yourself. Yeah, that's very profound, because I also love that when you set boundaries, you are saying no to something. And at the same time, you think you are losing, but you are saying yes to something else because
Yes.
that thing you said no to has gone. Now there's space. You're saying yes to something else. Like, say, for instance, for me, it was saying no to going out partying like every weekend, the whole weekend. But then by saying no to that, setting boundaries, I opened up a space for me to fill my cup and take on my passion and do things, read a book, do a course, do a lot of things because you say no to this, it goes away, but you're saying yes, you're opening up space and time for you, for myself to explore other things. And sometimes also setting the boundaries, it also allows a space of healing. When you always so crowded, you feel like you're okay. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm top.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody loves me. But when you create boundaries, it's, you know what? This is my space now. You're able to see that in this space, where am I lacking? Where am I injured? Then you're able to see where are the places that you need healing, you need growth, you need nurturing. So setting boundaries, especially when it comes perhaps say your family, they expecting something, let's say you usually contributing this much. I was listening to the radio the other day, they were talking about the families overbearing, and then they want the money from the other caller. They said that the family just wants the whole salary ever since he's been working. The mother's working, the father's working, but they just want his salary. All the responsibilities of his siblings are falling to him because now he's working. But by setting boundaries, he was advised that setting those boundaries is important.
Definitely. I think it definitely forms part of your identity, and setting those boundaries really helps you get in touch with your identity as a person. And having healthy boundaries is definitely a good thing to have.
Definitely.
And we so often, we have this thing where we have that fear of, if I set a boundary, I'm going to lose people. But having a healthy boundary, you keep the right people.
Wow. When setting boundaries, you think you're going to lose people. But by setting boundaries, you get to keep the right people. Wow. You've heard it. We are here with Upumzile Mhlovu, our registered counselor. You know what? If you've just joined, you have missed out. You need to start from the beginning. Sisters, brothers, I know it's all our sisters, our brothers, they're watching. Do share this page, this show. Tell your sisters, tell your neighbors, tell everyone. Go on the roof with a microphone. Tell them that MindVest Connection is on Mzansi Urban Radio. Do share this. Most of the time we hear all this and we want it for all ourselves, but who knows that you will be helping someone else who really, really, really needs this at this moment. And that by sharing this, you are actually attracting more of these good things. The law of attraction we've been talking about. There's a lot we've discussed with Upumzile, our coach for the day, our guest. Has been so, so lovely. So yes, Pumzi, I want to know, when would be the best time to start this journey of becoming a whole woman?
I think in terms of, you have to be ready to start. It has to be a conversation with you where you go and and you have to, sorry, I'm just all over now, but it has to be a conversation that you set with yourself, asking yourself, am I ready to start this journey? It's like with exercising, it starts in the mind. Going to the gym, it starts with the mind. You need to be prepared in your mind that I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to undertake this journey. If you are not ready and someone is just dragging you to go to the gym, you are just there, but you are not putting in the work. But when you decide and say, I am going to start this journey, it comes through.
Oh, wow. So you need to be ready. And when you decide that you are becoming the whole woman, it's that time. That time is, so what I'm getting is that you will know when it is the time. So you can't say, because now Coach Khanyi and Coach Pums, they are talking about being a whole woman. Oh, okay, let me just ride along.
You've just listened to this motivational talk and you just think, no, I'm going to just do it. It's just you have to have an honest conversation and just say, I'm ready to start this journey.
That's great. Because, sometimes it's so easy to get onto the bandwagon of things that you seeing everyone is doing it, self-love, self-care, and you do it, you buy yourself the flowers, buy yourself the chocolates, take yourself out. You hear women are taking care of themselves, but you are just doing it for the sake of pleasing others, showing off perhaps on social media, popping those status updates, just putting it in our faces. But when you haven't decided within you that you are now becoming a whole woman, inside, outside, it is not your time. I would also say that the best time is as soon as possible.
Yes,
because the sooner you start to nurture yourself, nurture your relationship with self, like Coach Pumzile was saying earlier, that you starting to develop that relationship, asking yourself who you are, what you like, starting first before what you like. Do you like you first?
Exactly. That is the most powerful question. That's the most powerful question. I know I had a session with a client, and I think it's a powerful question. Do you like yourself? Above all, do you love yourself?
Do you love yourself? Yeah, we saw always one thing that now we posted a picture. You're checking how many people has liked your picture and loved it or reacted to it. But have you reacted to your own picture? Have you put the love or the smiley or the giggle, whatever reaction to your own picture, to your own status update?
That external validation.
It comes back down to that do you love yourself first? Because the only capacity you are able to, what I believe is that the only, your capacity to be able to give love and receive love is your own capacity of loving yourself.
True.
So, yeah.
Wow. That is powerful. That is so powerful.
Thank you. There's a story I'm thinking about now. It's a story about Michelle Obama and Barack Obama.
The it couple.
The international it, yo. So they they were on an outing or conference. I don't think it's an outing because they're way too busy. They were they were on a journey. So on their journey, they passed a ranch, a steak ranch or a small restaurant. They stopped there, and then they were going to have their lunch or dinner there. And then They went in, bodyguards, they set up the place, checked the security and whatnot. So when they got there, the owner of the place asked just to speak to Michelle on the side, oh, Barack, with his confidence. Yeah, you good, I'm good. So they go for a moment. He speaks with Michelle. It's like then you notice is that these people, it's like they know each other from somewhere. So when Michelle returns, he asks, do you know this guy? He seemed like so familiar. And then she smirks and says, yeah, he's my ex.
Wow.
And then Barack says, oh, okay. So since he's your ex, that means if I didn't come and sweep you off your feet, you would have been the owner of this lovely restaurant, just bragging, like, being sarcastic and saying that, yeah, you'd be the owner of this lovely restaurant. And then she said, no, he would be the president of the United States of America.
Wow.
That power, that power that we as women we have. Of once you know and you love yourself, you know your worth, that you are worthy, you are enough. That is all that you need. And it still goes back, it boils down back to the self-love, the self-care, the setting boundaries, and knowing yourself, creating the relationship with self. So yeah, my coach.
That is the most powerful story I've ever heard. I like the fact that she said, no, I wouldn't be the owner of the rich. He would be president. Self-worth and knowing who you are. That is amazing. And I think once you start the process of getting to know yourself, you invite confidence, you invite living a life of no limits, because you know that you are not limited. You are not limited in any sphere that you get into. And I think that is so, so powerful. Knowing your worth allows you to tap into your power.
Your power and limitless power. Like you said there in the beginning, tapping into your unlimited, living an unlimited life. And, we set so many limitations for ourselves, having all the excuses which we can write down and use why we are not there, why putting, for me, would be the kids, would be the business, would be my husband, would be this, would be that, with the family, would be money, would be this. Ooh, all these excuses which we set the limits for ourselves. But once you identify your self-worth, and you gain back your power. My coach, it's been so lovely. I so want a repeat of that. I would love to continue forever and ever. I'm just loving this. Feeding off of each other, sharing and, pouring. We would love to, we always say, fill your own cup first. When we're filling each other's cups, it's another story. We're on another level.
That's beautiful. That's actually beautiful, because sometimes with women, we think by filling another woman's cup, we think that we are emptying from ourselves. Whereas it could get to a point where that same cup that you filled will pour back into you.
The same cup that you poured into might be the same cup that's pouring back into you. And with women, there's so many. There's a history, a bad history of girl hate. We'll be pulling. If you see my crown is this side, you say, that crown is. But when we fix each other's crowns and we fix each other up as women, how much power will we have? I'm not saying that we're wanting this woman domination, like, yeah, let's take over the world. Yes, we can if we want to. If we want to, that's the thing. We can take over the world. But I'm saying that
self-love does that. Self-love allows you to be comfortable with the next person.
Amen. We looking forward to be with you once again very, very soon.
Wow, thank you so much for having me. I think it's been such a blessing, to get something out of this. We were just learning. I think more than anything, it was a conversation of growth and learning, and I'm so grateful to have been part of this conversation. Yeah.
Thank you.
When you said an hour, I thought, hey, an hour is so long.
Yeah.
But it goes by so quickly.
And we still want to talk some more, and the hour has run out. Yeah, but we'll be definitely having you so very, very soon. And yes, thank you once again. Thank you to all our viewers, our listeners. We thank you for tuning in for this whole hour. We've had so much to fill our cups. When you are pouring out of a cup that is full, it overflows into the saucer, then you're serving from your abundance. You remain full. And right now, this is what is happening to me, that I have gained so much that I'm able to share from my overflow. So thank you for joining us. And we appreciate your data, your time. We thank you from Mzansi Urban Radio for creating this platform for us to share, learn, live, and laugh. We thank you, Mzansi Urban Radio, the crew, Melanda, Fumani. We love you. We thank you from MindVest Connections. Thank you. Bye-bye.